All righty. Welcome to Hot Takes. The countdown's over, right? Yeah? Yeah, we're on a delay. That's right. That's how that works. What is up, everybody? Alan, Daniel, can you see me? Can you hear me? Testing, testing.
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear, boss. We are here.
Glad to hear it. Welcome, everybody. We got a good amount of people in the chat already. Welcome to Cesar Sanchez, Eric, or Erica, either Eric or Erica. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm glad your feeble brain remembered this time. Skyway, welcome in. FC Neo, welcome in. DJ, welcome in. FTW Sam, welcome in. Excited to have you. Excited to be here. We're going to go ahead and kick things off right now. I hit tweet, send on all the tweets, on all the Instagrams. If you see this tweet on the MIR97 accounts, go show it some love so we could get as many people in the stream as possible. But welcome back to episode 2 of Hot Takes Live. We got a lot to talk about, so I don't want to beat around the bush. I just want to get right into it. One special thing happening today for those of you who are on last month's episode is we do have live call-ins today. And I just want to talk a little bit about live call-ins before we introduce the rest of the guys on the show. So if you want to call in live and chat with us or share your take or criticize one of Daniel's horrific takes that he's bound to have at some point in this episode, then you are going to click the link that our producer Parker is going to put in the chat momentarily. I don't see it there yet, but it's going to be there soon. You're going to click that chat. You're going to have a little combo with Parker, and he's going to say, hey, you're cool, or hey, you're not cool. Great. It's going to be about halfway through. That's what I'm hearing on the back end. And he's going to have a quick little chat with you just to make sure you're not a creep. And when you're not, he determines you're not a creep, you're going to come on and chat with us, which is very, very exciting. So no pressure. If you don't want to do it, if you don't want to do it, I will still be calling out takes in the chat. But that's a fun option if you want to interact with us a little bit more personally. Now, that being said, I want to very quickly introduce the host. My name is Matt, founder of MIR97. I'll be leading the charge, so to speak. I'm not medieval, but that's one of my favorite sayings. And joined with me is a good longtime friend of MIR97, Mr. Alan, the pole with the goal. Alan, in 4 words, tell me how your day's been. 4 words.
Still breathing, still kicking.
That was S tier. That's more than I could have expected. And on my other side, we got the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Daniel. Daniel, tell me how you're doing in unlimited words, and then very quickly share your fit, because I was amazed by it when you hopped into the call.
My 4 words are moist but very productive. The fit is a jersey by Sentido at one of their events. Got a big, I don't know if you can see the big a snake Aztec symbol. It's a beautiful kit. Shout out Adidas.
What, can I just clarify something? When you say moist, are you referring to like sweat?
Oh, I meant just like the rain. I don't have a car, so it's been rained on all day.
Just wanted to make sure. Got it. That word sometime is a
it's controversial
for me.
It's a hot take.
Totally.
It's a hot take. Some would say.
100%.
Roll the credits.
That's the crew in the front leading the charge. Behind the scenes, we got our producer Parker. You can't hear him, but we can hear him, and he's the one pulling all the strings. So thank you to Parker for setting this all up and for getting ready to produce a giant show. And I already see people antagonizing me in chat, which is how we know we're going to have a good episode. A little schedule info, like we talked about in the first episode, or if it's your first time here, we're going to be doing these monthly. Next month, it may not be on the last Thursday of the month just because we already have a conflict, but it'll be around that, and we will let you guys know in the next coming weeks. Anything else? No game this weekend, so we have no predictions this weekend. International break. Some of our guys are out on the break. We'll talk about that. But other than that, gentlemen, let's get right into it. Now, if you filled out the poll that Parker puts out 10 days before every episode, you will see that one of the questions, or at least, it was a question, was about minutes. And the question was the player expecting to get the most minutes in 2026. Unsurprisingly, the South Africans probably went crazy, and Mboase has a slight lead over Philip Zinkernagel. But I saw Zinkernagel and felt it was really important to talk about him pretty much instantly. We all know that he has 0 goal contributions in his first 5 games, and he's been pretty ass. I know we're going to talk. There's a lot of community takes in the back that are going to talk about him. But I just want to start off by asking this question. Next game against Nashville, a really, really good team. And Daniel, I'm going to start with you. You don't know what I'm about to say. Maybe you do. Should Zinkernagel be benched as like a way of like resetting his soul? You know, he's obviously a starter, but should he be benched to kind of just recoup and see if he could get any of that mojo back? What do you think?
I mean, I don't see why not. I think coming off the bench is a great role for a lot of different people. I mean, maybe as a European, we can kind of remind them that nothing's promised in the United States, and that can. I think I do like that thing. I think the what was I going to say? There shouldn't be a hierarchy. I don't think anything has been. People have been fighting for their spots. There are a lot of good players and for a lot of different good roles. So I think the energy off the bench is what we need, and I feel like just resets and sets the precedent that nothing's promised. If you're slipping up, then you're gonna have to find a new role, kind of thing.
Alan, over to you. Do you agree with Daniel? I don't think you do.
I don't. I listen. Like, sure, Zink's had a little bit of a slow start, but I don't think that's bad that he doesn't have any. It's just showing that the team is scoring on other fronts. I mean, obviously, Hugo's got 4 goals in the 4 games, and it's other people providing the assists. I think they will come, whether it's the same amount or maybe a little bit less than what he had last year. I mean, of course, it'd be better if he had more, but I don't think that's a completely bad thing. And honestly, if he was benched, who would be stepping in for him, and like what would the formation look like? So I think it's too early to call in terms of sounding the alarm on Zinkernagel. I say he's fine for now.
This is a great question to open up the show with, because I'm looking in the chat right now and there's about 5 different perspectives on this situation, what to do with Zinkernagel. I think personally, I am leaning towards Mr. Daniel and bench him for a game solely because we have the pieces to replace him in the starting 11 and still pretty much trot out the strongest starting 11 possible. We know what MHS is capable of. I mean, the guy was our leading goal scorer in like 2023. So he's a good player. And when you have that piece available to you and you don't have to start a 17-year-old homegrown who is, on his major league debut or something like that, take advantage of the fact that it's a long season, give him a rest, let him recoup. He's probably going to make an appearance in the second half when we're down 2-0 to Nashville anyways, but spoiler, that's my prediction for that game. But I think it does no harm. So I am going to put a poll in the chat because I want to see what the collective group says. But while I set that up, because I'm a terrible multitasker, or maybe Parker can actually, I don't know. We'll see. I want to transition to another poll question, to the second poll question that we asked in that forum. And that was all about the Dylan Borso Columbus debut. Yeah, it was the Columbus debut after Barroso went down with injury. 84% of respondents that filled out our forum say they want to see Borso get more minutes. Now, granted, that was now 3 games ago. Barroso's back. There's a new kind of fullback in the picture. Where do we stand with Mr. Wake Forest Borso? Do we want to see him get more minutes, or is it not time yet? Alan, kick it off.
I'm giving a yes, but answer. So yes, I think he could get more minutes, but not in the league. So we're in both the Open Cup and the Leagues Cup. So Open Cup, absolutely. I feel like he could be starting. He should be playing. Leagues Cup, probably same thing. League, like in MLS, maybe if there's injuries, like previously, his previous appearance. So yes, he definitely should be getting minutes with the first team. Maybe not just in the league, unless there's some sort of injury. So I think we'll definitely be seeing him in the Open Cup or the Leagues Cup, or both.
Daniel, what do you think of Dylan Borso?
I think it's a promising, young academy player. I think but at the same time, I do agree with Alan in the sense that it's just like, yes, but I don't, especially given his position, it's like a mistake can like really cost us. I think it's way too early in the season to start kind of putting in new pieces. I think for longevity, yes, we should kind of throw him in the rotation, but I feel like that's one of those positions that's just like, you can't just throw someone in there because like defensive mistakes are a little bit too, that's a luxury that we don't have right now.
And it's interesting you brought that up because Dylan Borso is not naturally a fullback. And I'm really curious to know if that's what Greg's vision for him is, or if that was just a panic move because Jonathan Dean wasn't available at the time and neither was Andrew Gutman. And that was like what they had. I don't know if Greg wants to play him at right back. I think if he is going to be a fullback right now, he is fifth in the rotation. I mean, there's two good left backs and there's two good right backs. There's not space for him. Yeah, you'll see him in the Open Cup. I can't imagine you'll see him play a Liga MX team on the road. That just doesn't seem like a great use of a 19-year-old
That
young
might
guy
be
like
child
that.
abuse, actually.
That well, yes, as close
Labor
to child
laws.
abuse as you could get for a 19-year-old. That's pretty. I don't remember what teams were playing. I know we're not going to like Estadio Azteca or anything like that, but still, those are some crazy takes. And once again, similarly to our respondents on the poll, chat says 87% Borso should get more minutes. And I challenged Borso, or excuse me, I challenged chat to answer the question of where is he going to get more minutes in league play? It's congratulations. He's going to start against Chicago House in the Open Cup in 3 weeks. But
Chicago, AC, let's go.
I will always say that it's a good. Oh, interesting. Skyway says Borso plays fullback for Fire 2. It's more out of necessity. Interesting. That being said, if he can prove to be a player that can play 7 different positions, then you're going to see him go up the depth chart in many different ways. So Dylan Borso, the emergence of him is a great thing. And I will continue to say that whenever you have arguments about depth chart, it means your depth chart is in a pretty good spot, in my opinion, at least. Let's see what we got over here. Moving away from our poll is finished. We want to expand it over to the league. And there's one particular striker in the league, similarly to last year. Last year, he finished second to Lionel Messi in the Golden Boot race. But he's off to an incredible start. And unfortunately, I'm not talking about Hugo Kuipers. I am talking about our upcoming opponent, Nashville's former Nottingham Forest striker, Sam Surridge, who's off to 7 goals in 4 games. I think he missed the game. And I'm just curious, right now, Carlos Vela holds the MLS goal record. Do we think Sam Surridge has the capability of breaking that record with 7 goals in 4 games to start the season? Or is that record not going to be broken? Or is that record going to be broken by someone else this year? I'm just curious. I'll start off by thinking Sam Surridge has the potential to, but I cannot believe I'm saying this. I'm an optimist and I would never root for injury, and I'm not rooting for injury, but I just have this suspicion he's going to get injured and then he's not going to do it. But I think if he stays healthy, he has potential to do it. Alan, Sam Surridge, is he going to do it?
It's entirely possible. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. For those sickos that do fantasy, MLS fantasy on Kickbase, he is not only is he in my lineup, he's also captaining, and that has got me some major points. So I honestly think it's entirely possible. Overall, Nashville is like the current team to beat. So they're proving themselves right now. So I mean, this upcoming game is going to be fairly difficult. So honestly, I think it's entirely possible. It's entirely possible that he's going to. And if I want to give a definitive answer, let's say yes. Let's go ahead and do it. Nashville and surge forward. Get
Daniel
35 plus.
Daniel, are you a Sam Surridge Glazer, or are you just like, who's that guy?
I mean, I can't say I'm a Glazer. I'm like, great job with all the goals, but I'm going to say it's possible, but it's not going to happen because the league won't let it. Nashville's way too small of a market. Him breaking that record doesn't bring any attention, doesn't bring like more viewership. And yeah, I just feel like the league is like an anti-Glazer when it comes to someone who isn't like a big name kind of thing. So I think he's going to score a lot, but I don't think it's going to get to that point.
Do you think the refs are going to just start giving out red cards to him so he has to just consistently leave the pitch? Is that what the strat's going to be?
I don't know. Or I mean, maybe they just do like 10 minutes of stoppage time so the other team scores more. I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you're probably the guy who's going to say like Messi's going to be the Golden Boot leader or something.
Yeah,
like that.
basically. Yeah.
God, none of us defending Hugo Kuipers here is wild, but that's what I love because there's a lot of good strikers in the league. And although Hugo's a good one, he may not be the best, but we could talk a little bit about that later. I want to transition into the clickbait part of our session where we do talk about Mboaze specifically for 5 minutes so we could tap into a different market. Wink, wink, wink. We've spent a lot of time talking about Mboaze. Thank you, Willie. Dan likes it, or Willie likes my angle. I appreciate that. Talking about Mboaze, his impact. Is he the second coming of Jesus? That's kind of the overarching question. So I'm just curious to do a little check-in after 5 games into the season. Do you think Mr. Mboaze is living up to the hype of what the entire country of South Africa told us he was going to do? Daniel, let's kick it over to you.
I think no, but that's a good thing because I feel like he has made a lot of surprises. He's not perfect, he's made mistakes, but at the same time, it's just like sky's kind of the limit. He's kind of surprisingly, you know, dangerous in a lot of different ways, not only defensively but offensively. So I'm kind of excited for him to continue to surprise us and do some things that will make us all, channel our inner South African pride.
Alan, are you, boy, what is there saying? Bonfa Bonfa? Bonfa? I don't know. I'm not going to butcher it because I'm going to get crucified online. Alan, keep talking, please. Talk quickly.
I honestly want to say, I'm living up to the hype. I want to say, yeah, because we've seen definitely flashes on defense. I mean, we already have highlight reels from the Fire of the different defensive stoppages and clearances that he's had. So I definitely think he's living up the experience to the to the hype, at least to the reason why he has the starting center back position. Is he making mistakes? Yes. Can he do better? Of course he can. But I definitely think the hype is there, and I think he's definitely living up to that hype. And I hope it only goes up from here. Essentially, as long as we keep Bofana Bofana, I think, on our side.
Yeah, Chad agrees with everyone so far. Willie says the Mboaze hype is real. FC Neo Tokyo, Mboaze's been amazing considering how quickly he's hit the ground running. He's the truth. And then DJ says, so long as he doesn't pull a Carlos Turan and get sent off stupidly, he's going to be gone by the start of 27-28 season. I know that's a hot take down the road. We'll get back to that one. And then Jared follows it up with hype is very real. TLB has a very high ceiling. His long balls, paws are crazy, very physical, but we all know that one red card challenge is coming. God, a lot of PTSD from guys like Miguel Navarro in the chat. And I say largely I'd agree with everyone. I think the thing I've been most impressed about is like his distribution, like the long balls, paws, has been amazing. That one ball he played over to, oh God, I don't even remember who it was. Our right winger. It was probably Marin or something like that. In the Philly game, I'm like, okay, this guy's got some swagger. And I will also admit that I didn't actually want it to be real. I wanted him to be good. I didn't want him to be great because I was annoyed at the glazing going on. But kudos to the South Africans. They got a real dog on their hands. So I'm glad we're all in agreement with Mr. Mboaze, South Africa. We love him very much. Don't take him away from us. Before we get into the community takes, we have to touch on one more thing, and that's the first 5 games of our schedule. Last Hot Takes episode, we debuted right after the Houston game, not after the Hot Takes game. But there's been 4 games since then. Montreal, bottom feeder. Philly hasn't gotten a point yet. DC, who have done surprisingly well to start, but are probably going to be a bottom feeder. And Columbus, who are surprisingly right now a bottom feeder. That's my way of saying it's been a pretty soft start to the season, and we've received 7 points in 5 games. So Daniel, starting with you, are you happy with the 7 points out of the 5 games, or did you have more expectations for the first 5 matches of the season so far?
I think I am happy to the extent that maybe since we have so many new role players, we have a much deeper roster. I think having a little bit of a easier schedule allows people to gain some more confidence. We didn't have any blowouts. We didn't have the Nashville game, I mean, knock on wood, that we did last season. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like spirits are still pretty high, even though there aren't that many points on the table just yet. So I think I would prefer it. I feel like ideally, like, yes, we need a bigger challenge, but I feel like we're still in that, ramp up mode. There's a little bit of I don't know, a learning curve still that we need to meet.
Totally. Alan, do you agree with that?
I honestly, looking at what we've had, The only result that I'm truly, truly disappointed about is the DC game. I feel like we should have gotten at least one more point, and to be honest, 2 more points from that. All the other ones are, to be fair, honestly. So, and first of all, this is Major League Soccer we're talking about here. It could be literally the Supporter Shields winner versus the team who's already cooking with the wooden spoon. Like anything can happen. So, um, so I think it's still too early to call. Obviously, we would love to get as many points as possible, especially with the road games, like in Houston, because of how well the team did on the road. But honestly, where we are right now, I'm not sounding the alarm right now. I have already done that last season, but right now, yeah.
FC Neo Tokyo says, no way, Triple G seats should be starting to warm up. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. That being said, I do think I agree. I lean more towards with Alan. We probably should have at least 9 points. I'm thinking specifically about the Columbus game and specifically the last kick of the game when Mboaze missed that one-on-one with Patrick Schulte, which would have given us 3 points. That would have made me feel a lot better about the first. I know Jared agrees with me. I think Columbus should have been a win. DC was upsetting Houston, and DC, I think, caught everybody off guard by their quality. Exactly. A couple surprising performances, but a couple disappointing ones. I think the next five are really going to be the indicator of what this team's ceiling and what this team's floor is going to be. So I imagine next episode we'll be able to overreact or underreact a lot more to this. But before we get to the community hot takes, a message from the producer. The link to call in, if that's something you're interested, is going to be posted right after we discuss our predictions for the upcoming Chicago-Nashville game. So I'll give you guys 5 seconds to think, and then I'm going to start it off because I've already shared my stance. I think the Fire are going to lose 2-0. No shade on our beloved Fire. Nashville is clicking on all cylinders. They're very scary. Alan, earlier you mentioned kick base and like fantasy. I'm actually in a different MLS fantasy called FUTD, and it was like an auction based fantasy league. And Sam Surge was like the guy I wanted, and he got sniped for me the last second the transfer market was open. And now he's like leading the whole league in points. So I was salty, but I do have Christian Espinoza. So he's their offense is just too good. So Alan, what's the score going to be? And if the Fire score goals, who's going to score?
Honestly, I'm trying to think, because I'm usually I love to be Mr. Positive in these scenarios. Honestly, I'll go with a 1-1 draw. I'll say that Kuipers gets one and Surge gets one, and I feel like defense. But I feel like Nashville is going to be maybe a bit more in control of the game. But I feel like our defense, especially with like Mboazi, they will be called up. So I think it will be a tough one. But I think a draw might be it. Again, Nashville is the team to beat right now. You know, previously last season, that would be Miami. Miami would be sort of like the boogeyman. Now I feel like Nashville is really starting to ramp up. Especially Nashville is the one that they knocked him out of, what was it, the CONCACAF Champions Cup, if I remember correctly. So
sounds about right. Yep.
Yeah.
Daniel, are you as positive as Mr. Allen?
Maybe not as much. I know they're going to be a good team. I feel like we're not necessarily all the way and fully into rotation and kind of like clicked and gelled as much as we could, which is still a good thing. I think it's going to end up being 2-1 Nashville. I think probably, I think Lav's going to have like a sleeper goal at the end, like we saw him in earlier games.
Heard.
Get
All
subbed
right. DJ in the chat has a fun one. Fire 0-0 Nashville, or Fire 0 Nashville 0. Excuse me. Brady comes back with a quote in all caps: "Fuck you all. I'm going to the World Cup, and you aren't stopping me." Game is my hope, and I truly love that attitude. So thank you, DJ, for that one. In a minute, Parker is going to post the link to the call-ins if that's something you're interested in. Just as a heads up, we're not going to keep you on the show for 20 minutes to yap. We are going to drop you after you ask your question or challenge a take that you didn't like. That's not because we don't want to talk with you. We love you all, but we just want to make room for more people and more takes. So if that's something you're interested, the link has been posted in the comments. Go ahead and click it. You'll chat with Parker. And then if he deems you worthy of chatting with the trio, we're not that big of a deal, I promise. You'll hop in, which is very, very exciting. As that process is undergoing, we're going to start talking about all the takes that people submitted. We're going to try to get through every single submission that came in this week while opening the phones for live callers. So we're going to rapid fire some of these, unless we don't get any callers, which would be really sad. But that's okay. It's happened sometime in the show. If you want to join, don't panic. Yada, yada, yada. I've been all over all of that stuff. I'm going to stop reading the script and just start balling. The way we're going to kick things off is very spicy and also very personal to me. This is one that I have a lot of feelings out. And if you've heard any of me speak on any of our shows ever throughout the 4 years of MIR, you're going to know what my stance is. But to summarize Matt, Inwood, and Johnny, who both had the same take, this is paraphrasing. This is not the actual take. Quote, Gutman, referring to Andrew Gutman, our left back, bald, is going to be benched. Matt, Inwood, and Johnny think Gutman is going to be benched, but not everyone is throwing Gutman under the bus. Jimmy G, and Austin K are pushing back hard, saying they say Gutman is a key part of this attack and that we've actually got the best fullback core in MLS. So I want to open up the floor to discussion, starting with the important, the first part. Gutman is going to be benched, and I think a lot of this stems from Mr. Luka Radojovic. Parker sent us I'll admit, Parker sent us a pronunciation guide. Radojevic. That's how Radojevic. His Radojevic had during the first half of the Philly game. Do you think that's enough to eventually like boost Gutman, or is he too important to the team to bench and you're just loaded on depth? Daniel, tell me what you're thinking. I'm telling you right now that I'm going to judge your take if it's not what I want to hear. So just letting you know.
Please do. I welcome it. I think they're a little critical. I mean, as a hater myself, I think, yeah, he hasn't been perfect. I don't think he's performed to his full potential, but I think we can't deny that he is a core piece of not only the defense, but also the offense. I think he's been performing much better than other people in his position on other teams. But yeah, I think there's always going to be challenges and bumps around the road. So I don't think he needs to be benched per se, but I think we can rotate some more players in the spot. I agree.
And I just want to back up real quick and say his name is not Luka. His name is Victor. I'm thinking of Luka Stojanovic because I'm stupid. Chat was roasting me for a minute. So just want to say, sorry, Victor. His name is Luka. But I appreciate the words about Gutman. We can't jump the gun right yet. Alan, Gutman, is he the future of the left back at the Chicago Fire community?
As of right now, yes. Like, I don't think Radojevic is at that point yet. And I feel like that might be something we're going to talk about later, how that Radojevic is a little bit too guns blazing. So I honestly think Gutman, I think there's no need to sound the alarm with him just yet. So plus, I mean, he just came back from an injury as well. He wasn't, playing for, give him time. Give him time.
I don't know why we're sounding alarmed in the first place. I mean, within 25 minutes of his first start of the season coming off injury, he had a beautiful assist to Hugo.
Exactly.
Last year, I'm going to guess that he had like 12 goal contributions. And we know statistically that like he's one of the better attacking fullbacks in the league. So I see no reason why you can't start him unless he's injured, which is a very real possibility.
Yeah, like what Jimmy and Austin said, he's a key part of the attack, of just sending people forward and getting the ball into players like Kuipers, who's in the middle. And he's integral to part of that. So unless again he gets injured or something like that, I think he's fine.
Yeah. Someone in the chat, where was it? Eric or Erica? I still don't know. I'm gonna go with Eric. Says, was it Eric? Someone said that Dean could start over him depending on the matchup. And I think that could be said pretty much about all four of the fullbacks. There's gonna be matchups where like Barroso and Andrew Gutman are gonna get cooked defensively by Lionel Messi and all the other good wingers in the league because they're not great defensively. And Victor, God, and Johnny. I'm gonna get cooked. Tim's gonna be like, Matt, what the heck's wrong with you? We're
Hey,
an
I mean,
organization.
listen, Stojanovic was great for us. I mean, he
Dude,
was a fan favorite, so
Fun
I could
fact.
see that.
Quick Luka Stojanovic story. I DM'd him once on Twitter like 4 years ago and asked if I could have his jersey. And he said, sure, I'll leave 2 at my front desk. And so I went to his house to pick up 2 jerseys at the front desk and he signed both of them. Now they're hanging in my living room. So
That's
what a G.
incredible.
Yeah. But his name's not Luka. His name is Victor. Victor. People are talking about whether or not Gutman's deal is up. Should the Fire re-sign him? Do you think that's value at this point, Daniel?
I mean, he is a little bit older. I think if he's training his replacement or like getting the young guys up to speed to kind of contribute, maybe. But I don't know if we should give him a big, like a big contributor salary, if that makes sense. Because like at some points we're gonna have to like the cap space is gonna get under, depending who we sign in the
Daniel,
summer for sure.
I'm just curious. What's your definition of old?
I mean, if you're my
Mr.
age still playing in MLS, I feel like we're up there. If you're past your 20s,
he's
we're getting up there.
29. I don't know if you knew that. Oh, he's
don't
still
know.
29. I'll give him
Yeah.
3 more years before.
I was about to say,
He's a G,
because
man. He's a G.
Radojevic, how old is
go.
Radojevic? He was born in 2004, question mark, if I remember correctly. So,
Jesus.
honestly, Gutman still has a little bit of time. I don't know. Give him maybe like a 1 or 2 year, give him like a 1 or 2 year deal or something like that. I mean, he, especially in a league where we have a very tight constraint in terms of roster space, where we very much focus on midfield and forward. I personally think he's been fine. He's actually been fairly good. So honestly, if we give him like another year or even 2, I'm perfectly content with that.
And once again, it's a good problem to have if you have 4, potentially 5 with Dylan Borso fullbacks online. And people in the chat right now are debating what age. I don't know if they're just calling out what age they are or what age they think Gutman is no longer. Like, people are just throwing out random numbers in the 30. And DJ says Gutman's too old for the U.S. men's national team, but he's not even in the picture for the U.S. men's national team. So I don't know what's going on. The chat's being a little winky right now. It's always a fun one to watch people just kind of jump on like the fun trend. Oh, Victor played great for 45 minutes. That must mean that Gutman's era is done.
We love speculation.
Yeah.
But just
Is it just me or did we lose Matt?
I know, yeah. It wasn't
it
my
just-
fault this time. It wasn't his fault.
Did we? Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we just lost Matt. Oh, there he goes. So, yay! I am now host of Hot Take. Bwahaha. Anyway, so I feel like we've talked a decent amount about Mr. Gutman, so we can go over to our next hot take, I guess.
Literally.
So next up, Velo and an anonymous submission are creating a little bit of a Gutierrez and Lod debate. Both are thinking Lod is not a good replacement for Gutierrez. Now, it's interesting because Lod isn't really replacing Guti, because that's what Franco is. You know, the reason why Gutierrez
literally.
went to the bench was because of Andre Franco. Now, obviously, Franco is currently injured, and we're still not going to see him for a while. And Lod is replacing Franco. But I mean, it's so. I mean, I guess we could talk about that. Is Lod doing enough essentially for what Franco is supposed to do, or what Gutierrez did in the midfield? What do y'all think?
By y'all, you mean me?
Oh, yeah.
uh,
Well, you
but
and the chat. So
no, Chad has been great. I think Franco, he's a hard person to replace. I mean, point being, I mean, obviously Guti was a very difficult person to replace as well. But I do think he is. I think he, to an extent, he is contributing in a way that maybe came sooner rather than later. I think long term, I think him in the rotation would be good, but like as a key piece that Franco is to that midfield, to our offensive game, like I'm not sure if that's 100% that. And I think he is kind of like a piece to the puzzle right now, but I don't know if we're going to build, a certain office around him, or he was one of the, the priorities in that kind of debate and discussion moving forward.
yeah. So let's see here. FC Neo Tokyo said they said it right here that he's replacing the third best player in the league last year. Yeah, so I mean
Yeah.
it's huge. He's filling in boots. He's definitely filling in some
Yeah.
large boots. I'm honestly not completely surprised. I honestly think he's doing all right. Lod's doing all right, honestly. I mean,
Yeah.
he had the assist for the Montreal game, so yeah, all right. Let's go on to our next take really here. Oh, another Mboazi take, and there was definitely a lot of them. So Hans Martin Ishida and Eat the Big One First are basically saying enjoy him while he lasts. So the take is that Mboazi has been so good that we're going to lose him faster than anyone expects, possibly as soon as the World Cup break. Oof. What do you think? Do you think we're going to lose him like during the World Cup or like after the World Cup? Like when do you think we're going to lose him? Because I think it's obvious that we are going to lose him.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a good excitement. I think it was a great signing. It speaks to like the depths of our scouting, our ability to seek out players that a lot of the league is not going in terms of South African, in terms of African players in general. That said, I think like I want him to have a great World Cup. I want South Africa to make some noise, but I'm not sure as soon as the World Cup break. That's a little bit. I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen that soon. And it's just like they're not going to. They didn't invest all this time, work with all that stuff to just put him in the rotation and like get rid of him. But yeah, I feel like I could see him by next season like gone. That is definitely a reality, and I think that's something that I think he should aspire to ultimately. And I think that's what we should do. Like just improving the level of competitiveness in the league, like the type of players we're bringing in. Like that should be the goal, honestly.
Yeah. Ryan Fish says probably next season or whatever MLS is doing in 2027. Honestly, I agree.
Yeah.
I think he's going to stay at least until the end of the season. I don't think he's going to be
Yeah.
gone that soon. I mean, he still needs a little bit more time to cook. Especially in a league that's very forward thinking. By forward, I mean like midfielders and forward positions. So I think we'll at least have until so. All right, fantastic. It looks like we are gonna have a live caller. We're gonna have Jiggly, a good friend of MIR97, coming on to the live show. So, Mr. Parker, you can send them in whenever you're ready, whenever they are ready to join us for their bits. So we should be having Jiggly coming on. Oh my goodness, it's Jiggly and Matt. He is so back, ladies and gentlemen.
I thought I was replacing Matt.
Yeah,
No.
sorry about that. It's a
This is
really,
fantastic news.
it's a really convenient time for your internet to drop right when you're in the middle of a live show. So sorry about that. Hey, Jiggly.
I
How's
I thought I
Korea?
wasn't gonna be able to like even watch, but they canceled pretty much most of my classes today. So,
That's awesome. What do you got for us?
well, I was watching. I wasn't able to watch it live because I decided that I'd rather sleep. But rewatching the game, I was really struck with the fact that I thought Shook looked so good on the wing, and he looked good on the wing the last time he was out there. And at this point, with the way that Lode and Soletros have been playing, I mean, take out one of them and start Shook. At this point, you got to do something with the way that the attack is not doing anything. You got to do something, and I think Shook's the guy.
Can I ask a question? A follow-up question to that question or take? Are you saying this because you believe he deserves a chance, or because he looked good for 2 minutes in a game that was already over?
I believe he deserves a chance. It wasn't it the one game the Columbus game. I mean, he looked good for 2 minutes, but this past one, like, no, he was out there, he was moving, and he's been around for a while enough. I mean, he's done well in Fire 2, and give him some sort of chance.
It's an interesting idea. I appreciate it. I'm not sure I'm ready to say like Shook is my like first attacker off the board, but I see him kind of like the role that Tom Barlow played for us. And if he can break into the team via that role, which Tom Barlow was not able to do, even though he has, I think, like 4 or 5 goals for Cincinnati already.
I was about to say he's been cooking for Cincinnati.
Yeah, he's been kind of.
He's currently doing what he should have been doing for us, which is coming off the bench and scoring.
I took shots with his dad in St. Louis. That was really fun. Sorry,
I have
off topic.
so many of these stories. Geez.
I have his name placard above my sink.
Yeah, well, but like back to my point, like I think like he plays that role, and if he could bag a couple goals, yeah. Until then, I think you have to play the guys that are vets. I mean, it's the same with Borso. Start them off on limited minutes, see if they're able to contribute, and then figure out how to give them more of those minutes. I will say I think he should be like the backup 9 over Chris Mueller. I just don't think Chris Mueller brings value, but not at the 9. Shove him over on the wing with Puso. Daniel, any thoughts on Shook?
I mean, I don't disagree. I just think it's maybe a little bit soon. I think, no one's going to deny he killed it in Next Pro, like with the Golden Boot and like MVP finalist. But I think, going to the first team is a big jump. And I think he needs to I don't know. I think he's still a little green for that. But I think it's a good thing to have that option and just know like that is a potential take. Like we do have a potential of such a new player.
Alan, any thoughts?
Very similar to what we said for Borso. I think that he will definitely, or we can see him. I would say more so for Open Cup in the earlier rounds, especially if we get, anything below MLS. I feel like we could definitely see him either starting or coming way earlier off the bench. So or again, for injury's sake. So I would say maybe give him a wee bit more time to cook. I would say on the sideline.
My final counterpoint, Jiggly, to you is I would actually say that he's not the former MLS Next Pro Golden Boot winner that I want to see get more minutes. That, for me personally, and I welcome disagreement amongst the group, would be Mr. David Pereira. That's a guy I want to see get more minutes.
Isn't he still?
He's healthy. No, he's healthy, and he made
he should be getting minutes too.
So it's like you got those guys in the back burner. Once again, like it's great to have them, but it's going to need to be a slow roll instead of just kind of throw him in the 54th minute to see what he's got. But at the end of the day, Jiggly, you, me, Alan, Daniel, we don't actually know anything. We're just pawns of the figments of our imagination, if that makes sense.
We're just cogs in this huge machine.
We're just cogs
in Game of something.
In the Game of Thrones. No, wrong show. I just started watching that show with my girlfriend. It just brings back all the memories. It's a great show.
I remember somebody used to pirate it for me and give me a flash drive.
100%. Jiggly, thanks for hopping on. I don't know if it's morning or night or what it is there.
It's morning.
Well, go get a coffee and a South Korean pastry. I don't know any food there. But thanks for hopping on. It's always nice to chat.
Great to see you, Jigs.
Bye.
Oh, and Matt also disappeared.
What a goodbye.
Okay. Well, Alan's back as the host, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. That was
run it back.
Run it back. Oh no, he's so back.
Dude, when Jiggly left, it literally kicked it. Dude, when Jiggly leaves, and it just kicks me out too.
Chat. Can we get a Matt is so back, please?
I'm so back.
Everyone, type Matt is so back in the chat right now.
Yeah. Alan, since I very inconveniently left, where are we? Where are we?
All right. Our next the next hot take we were gonna talk. Oh, this one. It's another one from Hans Martin Machida. It was about it's not specifically about the Fire, but it's about the Eastern Conference. And the take is that the Eastern Conference is a mess. Same energy as the West last year. Is the East just bad or is it wide open? Honestly, I can honestly start us off here. Yeah. Last season, the East was like the powerhouse. It was like East held all the great teams. And in the West, you had like San Diego and obviously LAFC, but everyone else was just sort of there. Though I think this year, honestly, I don't want to say it's like an immediate shift, but it's a slight. We're definitely seeing that power shift again. You have like San Diego, you have LAFC. I think the Galaxy are starting to slowly come back. Vancouver, with Berhalter and Mueller as they're stacking up as well. So I don't want to say it's like an immediate shift, but I definitely I think things are starting to balance out, especially now with Miami kind of even dropping off, some other teams in the East off dropping off. I don't want to say the East's a mess, but I want to say things are balancing off.
Do you want to know who the bottom 3 teams in the East right now are?
Who are the bottom 3 teams in the East right now? I know
Great
one of
question.
them's Philly.
Philly, Columbus, and Orlando. 3 teams or 2 teams that made the playoffs, and 1 team that made the play-in, and then we kicked their butt. But I mean, Cincinnati's sitting at 9th, and I think the East definitely got weaker in the sense that like playoff teams are shitting the bed, and there's not a lot of teams that are filling that void right now. The only 2 teams that would be in the playoffs if the season ended today that didn't make it last year were DC and Toronto. I think DC's a fluke. Like Ty Baribo is going to be the only reason they do anything. But I don't even know if I've ever said this publicly. I think Toronto's my sleeper team to be better, and that's not just because of Josh Sargent. I think they have a decent team. But yeah, the East has definitely gotten weaker. Can the Fire take advantage of it? In theory, they should. I think it's way more top heavy with Nashville and Miami. And I think the Western Conference is more level overall. But I don't know. That's just my vision. Daniel, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it is kind of like that curse of the Supporter Shield or like MLS Cup winner. Like you're great this season, but the next season you're just kind of ass, you know. And I think there's a bit of a fall from grace, but I don't. I think also just keeping in mind that it is a long season and they can get back into form and they can like put their pieces that they need to be in. Yeah, I mean the summer transfer window, all that. So yeah, I mean I'm not complaining, but I feel like that it is time for the Fire to capitalize on this kind of like lack of momentum from the East.
Totally. 5th is good, but I want more than that. And outside of Nashville and probably Miami and probably like NYCFC too, there's really no reason why the Fire can't take those spots. Last call to join live over there on the Parker. We got about 7-ish more takes. We're going to breeze through them. Very quickly, we want to go back to Zinkernagel because he's kind of the, outside of Mbawazi, the biggest talking point of the season. Maria, Matt Dyson, and Will all come in with takes on Mr. Zink, and they're not very nice. The consensus is this: his head got too big, and the performances have suffered because of it. That's a character take, or a knock on his character, rather, not just a knock on his form, and I'm here for it. So I guess the question is, do you think he got too cocky, or do you think he's just in a little bit of a rut when it comes to his form? Or is it a combination of both? I definitely think it's possible that he's gotten a little in over his head, but someone in the chat earlier said that the reason they think he's not performing as well is because he's not playing in the right position. He's operating different than he did last year, and I'm inclined to believe that whenever there's a big positional change like that and a player all of a sudden dips in form, that's a little bit of the reason why, but it's also possible that he thinks he's a hot shot. And I'll tell you this, he dresses like he's a hot shot. He's got some hot shot dresses.
He's
some
a
of the best
coffee aficionado as well,
bro.
so that
Bro,
already
he's got a
tells
really
you something.
cute dog too. I don't know. That's not relevant. Daniel, is it a character thing or is he just in bad form?
I feel like it's a little too early to check to make that assumption or make that conclusion. That said, I mean, everything does have a little bit of truth. So I mean, if we do see kind of like the slipping of performance, and like we see the lack of attitude change, I don't want to say like I don't know. When I think about character issues, I think about Shaqiri, and I don't think he's the same person as him by any means. I don't think he's holding back, but yeah, for right now, I'll be a Zinkernagel apologist and say it's just bad for him for now.
Heck yeah. We all need Zinkernagel apologists. Fun fact,
Yeah.
Daniel, since you're the apologist, I was the first ever Chicago Fire fan to get a Zinkernagel jersey, so someone could say I'm the original Zinkernagel apologist. Just to let you know. Alan, what do you think?
Zink. I honestly think he can't. I think he is a little bit over his head. I think. I'm trying to think because yeah, he was definitely one of our best players, if not our best player last season, and I think it could have gotten a little bit to him, and I think it's a wake up call definitely, because of the fact that he hasn't gotten anything. Again, kind of like what I said in the beginning of the show, that we shouldn't really be sounding the alarms. But I think, he's a professional. He knows he's got to be flexible. Failures lead to success. So, if there's something he needs to change, then, oh boy, I hope he's had the time right now during the bye week to reflect on it, and hopefully Nashville he can, make something happen. If not, then maybe we might have to start doing a few ring-a-ding-dings of the alarm.
Chat has a consensus that it's all Greg's fault and that he's not being played in his natural position. Although I'm pretty sure at some point he said that he preferred playing like the 10 role over the winger. So I'm wondering if there's a case of like what he wants and what he's best at is not the same thing, because that is something that occurs. And everyone's like, get him out of the middle, keep him on the wing where he belongs. I want to keep on moving because we got a lot to talk about and not a lot of time. And there's another player who's filled with a little bit of controversy to start off the season, and that's Mr. Anton Saletros. Joe at Chi-Fire Joe on X, one of Chicago Fire's biggest fans, along with Jared Fire FC, along with Jiggly, and along with Will, period, all filed takes saying he's been underperforming too. Two players, both getting hit for underperforming. We've talked about Zinkernagel. Is the controversy on Saletros actually something, or is he just getting his feet wet? And I'll kick it off to give you guys a minute to think. That guy's played 5 games in the league total. I mean, clearly there's value in him. He's our alternate captain. Greg's not going to do that if he's not confident the guy's going to bring something quality on the field. We can't be judging guys that have played their whole entire career in Sweden and then come to the States and don't perform 10 out of 10 foot mob ratings the first 5 games of their MLS careers. He's been certifiably mid. That's okay. There's no need to panic on that one. I'm much less concerned about that than I am when I'm seeing with Zinkernagel. Daniel, do you agree?
Yeah, I think I agree. I think it's still a little early. I think, adjusting to the MLS, again, we're not saying this is the best league in the world, but it has its differences, different teammates, different style of play, also Berhalter. I think, yeah, so I don't think we need to raise the alarm just yet, but I think if we start seeing a pattern of performance, then yeah, I think we should kind of reconsider.
Alan, Saletros, are you going to hit the panic button or are you chill?
I feel like Saletros, I don't know why, he's been kind of flying under the radar for me, and I'm not sure that's a good thing. Like, I mean, obviously he's had blips and moments of success, but I'm not sure. Of all the players we've talked about I've been definitely on the side of don't raise the alarm, but he's near the top of that list of like, if it continues to be not, if he continues like sort of flying under the radar, he's probably like the first one. So that's what I'm gonna say, and I'm not gonna elaborate.
FTW Sam is very anti Saletros. They say Saletros has been butt cheek emoji. He needs to just do set piece kicks, and that's at no corners. And then follows it up by saying, in all caps, he has high expectations because he's played for the Swedish national team. Let's talk again 3 shows later when he's played 15, 20 games in 3 different competitions, and we'll see if actually that's the problem. One more player's performance to talk about before we get into a couple lighthearted things to round out the show. Mr. Josh submitted a take that's simultaneously hype and shade, and that's on our boy Victor, not Luka, Radojevic, who finally made the A team, got on the pitch, as we've just talked about, and Josh is celebrating and simultaneously sounding the alarm, saying Victor won't see much of the field because he's going to draw a red card every other time he's on it. Do we think, this is the question, do we think Mr. Victor is the Serbian, I think he's Serbian.
He is Serbian.
Thank you. Version of Miguel Navarro, or is he going to be like much cleaner than that? Because Miguel Navarro is, when I think of like cards, that's the guy I think of, and they happen to play the same position. Daniel, any symmetry there? Are we just tortured with left backs who like to get in trouble?
I don't know. I feel like Navarro was a collector of cards. But that said, I don't think it's exactly the same, but I will say like there has been a trend of a lot of red cards in MLS. And like I don't know if that's a league thing, but it's like we can't ignore this pattern. And ultimately it's like the Fire are not necessarily like the crown jewel of the league either. So I don't think we're gonna be, like not gonna fall prey to that trend either. So I think he just needs to adjust. I think he needs to adjust. He needs to play smarter. And yeah, I feel like we can't. Card trouble's the last thing we can do, especially with the repercussions down the line.
I love Daniel doesn't take the bait. It's always good. He's like the logic in our lives, which I really appreciate. But I do agree with you. I think like MLS is like a weirdly physical league, and like people are shifting all around their bodies, and people are going to make mistakes. Miguel Navarro is an icon who, for those of you that didn't know, is currently starting at left back for the Colorado Rapids, which is horrifying. So he's back collecting cards round 2. But I'd agree, he's just got to figure out how to play chill. Good thing our starting left back is playing chill. And Alan, I know you're pretty distracted by your pretty misses, but what do you think?
No, I'm sort of just staring off into space. But no, when you said that Navarro was collecting cards, I'm thinking if Radojevic is gonna be if he's gonna be playing that Southern Slavic style of ball, he's not doing it to collect cards. He's doing it for the love of the game. So. And when it comes to red cards, yeah, there's been a lot of more red cards in MLS. I was actually talking with Eli Lesser of Eli Lesser TV. If you don't follow him, go ahead and do that. He makes fire MLS content. We were talking about how there's been a lot more cards, period, in MLS right now, and especially with red cards. There's definitely been an increase. So I'm pretty sure that's Greg's telling the players. I'm pretty sure everyone's being told around the league, like, you better watch out, because they're not only are they giving out more cards, they're going to VAR more often. We've been seeing a lot more. Like, honestly, there's been so many games where like the ref goes 2 or even 3 times to the monitor. So I feel like if Radojevic is getting sent off, then a lot of people are going to be sent off around the league. So I don't think hopefully he's just careful. Hopefully he's been informed that people are being sent off. So
I agree with everything you said, but did you say VAR? Isn't it VAR?
VAR, I don't know. Listen,
I don't know. Maybe I'm nitpicking.
Listen, I was watching Poland via Albania, which Poland won, biało-czerwoni. And in Polish they always say VAR, so I guess I was just used to hearing that.
Polacks.
Calm down, Luca.
Shade. There we go. Daniel's spicy side is finally coming out. I love it. Jared says Anton, going back to Saletros, averaged an assist every 7 games for AIK. His assist is coming against Atlanta guys. I don't advocate for sports betting, but I think that would be a fun prop to bet an Anton Saletros assist against Atlanta United. And if it wins, you have to give Jared and I money. That's how it works. Anyways, moving on to stadium talk to continue to round out our conversation, is Sparky's Imposter, or the real Sparky, the world may never know, is back with a fun one. The new stadium at the 78, which the groundbreaking happened, I think, since the last time we chatted, maybe.
It was like March 3rd, so yeah.
Yeah, which we didn't even talk about. Super cool. The new stadium should have fire hydrants in place of urinals. It could be like the troughs at Wrigley, but fire hydrants. And I'm just curious, would you pee in a fire hydrant, Daniel?
I mean, never say never, but I don't know if marketing is gonna sign off on that one. I feel like there's better things to pee in than that.
Yeah, it's wishful thinking, although I will say probably at some point in college at 2 a.m. I did pee on a fire hydrant. I'm not sure if that would be the most efficient way of getting through 22,000 people peeing at halftime, 6 Coors Lights deep. But it's a fun thought. Alan, are you a fire hydrant peer?
What is this conversation? No, I feel like my social anxiety would, the moment I would see that, I would be like, I am never using the bathroom in this stadium again. I will just use the porta potties in the tailgate. That's oh, I'm sorry, I'm not for that. Or I'm just going into a stall. Hopefully there are stalls. Jesus Christ.
No, it's just fire hydrants, and the stalls are
Oh.
fire
Yeah.
hydrants as
You
well.
have to shit in the fire hydrants as well. No.
And Eric just wants to send a PSA that people should not be wearing sandals in the fire hydrant bathrooms of the men's room at the new stadium, which I very appreciate. We'll see what happens. And apparently I'm being called off the rails. So we'll go back on the rails with our last take. And that's a positive one. We're not going to criticize anyone today. Or maybe a little bit of criticization, but not on this person. We want to close out with some Hugo Kuiper's love. Show some love. Valentine's Day was a month and a half ago, but we show love every day here at MIR. Alessandro, Jeremy, and Matt Dyson all submitted takes backing Hugo as an essential piece to this attack. And they go further. And Alan, just breathe. Even Robert Lewandowski wouldn't be an upgrade. Period. That's a statement. I know we talked about this last month, and we'll continue to talk about it until Lewandowski is or is not a fire player. But where are we at with Hugo versus Louis? Has he done enough to bump Louis from the thought process? Or are we all on like the Mo Salah hype train right now? Daniel, let's start with you. Hugo, Louis, where do you stand?
I mean, 4 goals in 4 matches is good. I think even if we do get Lou, like it's gonna be pretty late in the season, so to compare them is gonna be a little bit tricky. But that said, I think he is performing. I think he's consistent. Could he do better? Yes, but at the same time, it's like I think it's a little too early to kind of make those comparisons. We'll see though.
Alan, Alan, you hold your thought. I want to hear yours last because it is the one that's gonna be the most interesting. I feel like. I had a dream. This is not a dream that I necessarily want, but a dream that I think is going to happen. I think Hugo is going to perform really well this season, and the Fire are going to capitalize on that by trading him to the San Jose Earthquakes in the summer to pair up with Timo Werner to be a new duo in the league, which I think would be great for them. And then we are going to sign Lewandowski. I think it'll be like a we love you, Hugo, but you have to go, and as a result we're going to keep you in the league type situation. But I think if he stays, I'm going to have absolutely no quarrels with that. I think there's a lot of other players out there that could give you maybe not the same marketing prowess as Lewandowski would, but would be good. And if Hugo has 20 goals come this summer, I will never advocate anyone to leave. So with that being said, Alan,
Yep.
Mr. Pohl,
Mm-hmm.
where what are you thinking?
Gentlemen, I'm thinking this. Hugo Kuiper is currently let's just think about it like this. Hugo is 29 years old. Lewandowski or Lewy, sorry, you guys saying Lewy or whatever, it's blowing my mind right now. Lewy he's 37. I mean, and Lewandowski is still firing on multiple cylinders for Barcelona, but I honestly think we're fine with Kuipers. Like, listen, I love Lewandowski, and if he does come, I will be the first person in line to buy the jersey. But I honestly think that right now, I'm not thinking about Lewandowski. I'm thinking about Hugo Kuipers doing that a very similar goal celebration, fists together. I think that's fine. I'm honestly, I'm fine with having those Belgian waffles more than the pierogi right now, honestly. So, and I imagine that if the Lewandowski thing is gonna go ahead, it is gonna be similar to like what Matt said. Is that we're gonna get a bit of money from him. It's going to be almost like shooting poor old Yeller. We're gonna be in tears while it happens as he goes somewhere to MLS. Is it gonna be the Earthquakes? I can see it happening. But honestly, right now, I'm not worried about forwards. Honestly, I would honestly choose Kuipers ahead of Lewandowski right now. Like, Kuipers has been doing great. You know, if this was like Robert Beric, like if this was like a few years ago where we had Robert Beric, sure, then give me Lewandowski because Beric, as he was scoring, but he just wasn't like doing anything. Kuipers, I feel like it's not only the goals, but just the energy he brings. Because Kuipers and Lewandowski are both kind of poachers. You know, their goal is to be up front and score. But I feel like Kuipers is younger enough, and I think he has a bit more energy to be a part of the goal building process and like actually, you know, providing some assists or even secondary assists. Lewandowski is very much a poacher. He's very much up front. And seeing him play for Poland and especially for Bayern, back when I used to watch them all the time, he doesn't create as much. You know, he's very much a poacher. He's very much up front. And when he is called to create, it doesn't usually end too well. So honestly, give me Kuipers right now.
We will be clipping that and it will be going on our socials as a testament that people can change their minds when it comes to the Chicago Fire. And that is the ultimate change my mind meme right there. And you're even surprising people in chat. Eric is like, oh, Alan surprises me. I'm with Alan. Hugo, woo! So it sounds like we're all kind of about Hugo right now. And, you know, now he's not going to score for 5 games in a row. And we're all going to be wanting Robert Lewandowski and Jason Shukaluk to be our striking partnership down the line.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see. We all know it's a journey, it's a ride with the Chicago Fire. Right now, we're kind of here, and we could easily go there, or we could easily go there. But you only find out next month on Hot Takes. But that was my subtle way of saying we're gonna start wrapping up the show. Thank you to everybody who's interacted in the chat. Everybody who's liked and shared with your grandmas, with your mimas, whatever you call your grandmas. We are grateful for all of you. Before we sign out, Daniel, where can people find you in the world, in socials and stuff like that?
You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at @TroppingPoppy. Feel free to block me. I'm really annoying.
I don't advocate for that. He is great content. Alan, over to you.
Twitter or X, whatever it's called, Pull with the Goal 69. That's where I'm most active when it comes to the Fire. So, and you'll find my takes there as well as other things, especially as of recently, DePaul basketball. Also now the White Sox. Now that baseball season is starting, though neither Chicago teams had really good opening day starts. So, yay.
Go White Sox. That's all I gotta say. But you can find me
yeah.
at mshapes right there. Right underneath Matt is so back again. Hopefully we don't have these problems next time. Never fun. But thank you all for joining. Like I said initially, the next episode will be at the end of April. Crazy that we're already in April. Spring is already here. We will send the date 10 days out. So keep your eye out for it. Next time, once again, thank you to everybody who liked, who commented. We appreciate you so much. And enjoy the international break. Enjoy Mboazi playing for South Africa. Enjoy Victor playing for the Serbian U21s and all the other guys we got out there. And enjoy the friendlies. We're close to the World Cup. Excited for that. We get to host that opportunity come this fall. That's all I got. Thank you guys for joining. Come on, you men in red, and we shall see you next time.
Let's go Fire.